Welcome to Rubicon History.
He was sent from the future to save the past. Come with me if you want to live. Come with me if you.
So I'm not from the future. I'm from right now in the present. Welcome to Rubicon History. In this episode, timelines. A timeline is a visual representation of events in chronological order. You might have heard of or most certainly seen the concept of a timeline and not even realized it. Popular fiction, including books, TV shows, and movies, love using timelines when it comes to explaining time travel.
Somewhere in the past, the timeline skewed into this tangent, creating an alternate 1985. Alternate to you, me, and Einstein, but reality for everyone else.
The Infinity Stones create what you experience as the flow of time. Remove one of the stones, and that flow splits. Can your science prevent all that?
No. But we can erase it. Because once we're done with the stones, we can return each one to its own timeline at the moment it was taken.
This is the timeline. This is the point that we exist on it right now. This past point is where my mom was murdered. So when I saved her, I created a new reality, a new timeline.
But do you know how a timeline works? Or better yet, could you read one if you saw it? Let's start with something basic. This is a timeline representing your life. We'll start with the year you were born. Let's add the year you learned how to walk, the year you learned how to read, and we'll finish it off with your first day of 5th grade. Notice all of these events are on a timeline from the event furthest in the past to the event closest to the present. We call this chronological order. Chronological order is a way of arranging events from what happened first to what happened last. Events on a timeline are always read in chronological order from left to right. Let's look at a timeline from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU. The Marvel Cinematic Universe began in 2008 with the release of Iron Man.
Tony, no, Tony. Tony, no, Tony, no. Tony.
Captain America, the First Avenger, was released in 2011. Captain Marvel was released in 2019. Now, the timeline you see is the chronological release of these films into theaters. But if the timeline were to show a chronological order according to the story of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it would look much different. Captain America, which takes place in the 1940s, would be first. Captain Marvel would be second because it takes place in the 1990s. And Iron Man would be last, taking place post-2001.
Tony! Tony!
Since we're paying attention to dates, let's take a look at a historical timeline with dates. Remember, we read a timeline from left to right in chronological order, with the event furthest in the past on the left and the event nearest to the present on the right. These events come from U.S. history. See if you can correctly order these events using the dates given. Does your timeline look like mine? To review, a timeline is a visual representation of events in chronological order. Chronological order is a way of arranging events from what happened first to what happened last. Events on a timeline are always read in chronological order from left to right. And now you know, and there's no turning back.
Come with me if you want to live.
No.